first, we got breaking news that happened this morning. Jurickson Profar, maybe one of the lesser smart players in the planet, gets suspended for the second time on a steroids test there. He's suspended for the full season.
Yeah, we haven't. I don't remember this happening for a while, but yeah, we've got someone here who I don't know, didn't learn his lesson the first time. I do you remember someone getting suspended a second? I'm sure it has. I'm sure it's happened. I'm
Well,
sure
Ryan Braun kind of was.
Yeah.
A-Rod.
Yeah.
I think it was a two-timer. I'm sure there's others, but it's also the time period in which it happened. Is it like, was this remaining in his system? Was he dumb enough to take it again? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
I doubt it's remaining in a system. I guess I don't know, but
I don't know the science very well there. I'll admit that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so I don't know, but either way, he's suspended. It's not a huge fantasy impact but for people who've already drafted, you lost like a 12th round pick or something like that, probably.
Maybe even a little later, right?
Yeah. So it's significant, right? Like it was probably, your third outfielder or something along those lines. So it's significant and annoying if you've already drafted. My big dilemma from a fantasy perspective is I was trying to decide, do I think the Braves will now make a move to compensate for that? And then what would that move be? So like the easy answer is Dominic Smith just becomes their DH against righties. He was like okay last year, but I kind of think that the Braves will need to add someone now. Right? Like they were counting on every day at bats from Profar. So I think they'll probably add someone. So then I looked through the free agents and thought, who would they add? Max Kepler is available. He's not a platoon guy with Dominic Smith. Like they're both lefties and lefties who hit lefties, or sorry, lefties who hit righties well and have pronounced platoon splits. So Tommy Pham, I don't know, could platoon with Dominic Smith. I don't know. And then I wondered if maybe the Braves will just sit tight for a bit and kind of play a waiting game and see how some rosters shake out at the end of spring training.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way it probably happens a little bit, because they don't have much of a farm system to trade out of either, especially for a real impact bat. According to like projections, like best available free agents are like Tommy Pham, you mentioned, Wilmer Flores, Starling Marte just signed with the Royals, Jesse Winker, Andrew McCutchen. Not a whole lot of defensive value in those players either. Not that Profar either had defensive value. In fact, he was probably going to be their DH more often than not. This is already a team, though, that was missing like a real shortstop. They have Ha-Seong Kim coming back in like May, and that's an upgrade over Mauricio Dubon, I guess. But Dubon's going to play more than people want. That's for sure.
Yeah, he'll be their shortstop. Yeah, you're right. Dubon might end up with 500 at-bats this year. Like he's going to play shortstop for a while, and then when Kim comes back, who knows? Like he's so versatile. He may end up playing most days even after that. But you're right. Like Mike Yastrzemski's in their outfield. He needs to be platooned, right? You can't platoon everyone. So he should probably be platooned. So Acuna and Michael Harris can play every day, but they don't have a DH. They've got a replacement shortstop, and they've got a left fielder who needs to be platooned. And they don't have a good bench right now. Like Eli White, Brett Wisely, Jorge Mateo, I guess, like he can't hit, but he can play a bunch of positions. I get that. Yeah, they need to add someone. So like, they'll just like I say, like wait and see. I even thought of my own Blue Jays. Like, for example, I think Nathan Lucas could get squeezed out of a spot just after they traded for Jesus Sanchez. And they're kind of like the same guy, but Lucas hits lefties, hits righties, played pretty well last year. The Blue Jays liked him. Just someone that the Braves could pick up. That he might not be the guy, but they probably will look around later in spring training rather than just sign Kepler. I thought of Andrew McCutchen too. He's sitting around at 40 years old or almost 40 years old. And like he could like be a DH type for them. I don't know. I think they should aim higher than that. I think they should wait till spring training is wrapping up, find a team with maybe a glut of outfield types and see if they can get someone.
Yeah. They need the hit, and they're really counting on a lot of the disappointing hitters bouncing back, whether it's Ozzie Albies, whether it's Michael Harris putting together more than 2 good months of the season there.
Yeah.
Austin Riley ended the season hurt, was kind of disappointing too.
Yeah.
They got 4 home runs out of shortstop last year. I mean, it's just, you go down the line. Sean Murphy missed a good chunk of the season, will begin this year hurt. Even Matt Olson struggled early. He made up for it at least. Acuna didn't, they're really putting a lot on the shoulders of Acuna if you think about it.
Oh, agreed. Actually, this is starting to remind me of last year's Braves. Like when you think about it, like since December, they've lost Kim for several months. Sean Murphy's not going to make it back for opening day. Spencer Schwellenbach's out for who knows how long. Hurston Waldrop's out for who knows how long. Now Profar's out for the season. That sounds a lot like last year's Braves, where just things just started going south. Kind of one last year, it was Reynaldo Lopez after one start, and it was Profar for half the season. But it's same kind of stuff where just one at a time, things are just getting worse and worse. And like you said, they're counting on a lot from Acuna. Also, big bounce backs probably now from they need a big bounce back from Austin Riley and Ozzy Albies. I don't know. It just at first when I looked at the Braves roster in like December and January, I was like, this is a playoff team. They will bounce back. I really like Schwellenbach. Waldrop's really interesting. I was like, this is a playoff team. Now, I don't know. I think they're clearly behind the Mets and the Phillies, and I think they're just going to be in that battle with the Reds for a wild card spot, and may not get there. And they're just really, really thin now. Like you take Chris Sale out or something, then that could totally happen. Like your history. You take
who knows what you're getting out of Strider? Who knows what you're getting out of Reynaldo Lopez
in spring training? Holmes? Yeah. Strider terrible last year for most of the time he was pitching. Lopez one start. Grant Holmes finished the year hurt. Bryce Elders stinks. Like I don't know. It just it won't take much. Acuna is such a game changer, and then there is the possibility for Riley to really bounce back. And Matt, like you could have Acuna with a 900 OPS and Matt Olson and Riley with 850 OPSs, and all of a sudden have like real studs at the top of your lineup, and then Sale could be great. Like I can see it, but they're starting to become a lot of question marks. And I think they're now, like I say, in a pack with teams like the Reds vying for that last, one or two wild card spots.
Yeah. Counting on everything going right when everything always goes right is not really a strategy. So you got to expect, at least they have to do something else.
Yeah.
Anyways. I don't want to make this all Braves talk. So let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Josh Hader, guy I've just straight up been avoiding in drafts. I just don't know, even if he comes back by opening day, you just don't know if he's out of the injury nexus. So there's a lot of talk saying that he probably won't be ready for opening day, and that he's not even throwing off a mound yet. He might throw off a mound next week.
Yeah, I put Josh Hader at 25 saves for now, which just felt like conservative, but he could have 0, right? Like he could have a setback or something and have 0 saves. So I put him at 25. I feel like the most you could expect from Hader at this point is probably like 33 or 35. So 25 felt fair. That pushes him down. And then the innings, obviously, I've dropped down to about 45. So 25 save and 45 innings, and then just being Josh Hader other than that kind of pushes him down in the like Emilio Pagan, Carlos Estevez type tier